4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, Minnesota Vikings fans? It's your favorite foot and ankle surgeon, the Skull Doc, joining you as always. This is House Calls, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. Joining me as always is my co-host Dave. So Dave, I mean, might as well just start out where start out obvious. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, he is. I figured he would be. Going in this game, I thought if there was any game that was easy to pick, it was in a Super Bowl. It was this one. And I had no doubt. I think I said before the. I don't know if I said on the show, but I said to other people that I think this is going to be one of the biggest blowouts. And it really kind of was. They handled them the whole game, and they just a couple late touchdown made it seem less of a blowout, but it was just a trouncing. It was terrible. I guess that lineman, that rookie lineman from LSU or whatever, was awful. And
14 pressures.
Yeah,
but yeah, the 4.5 felt like low to me, but at the same time, I felt like the NFL didn't want that number getting out of control and making to look like it was going to be a terrible game.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be like 6, or at least 6, But 4.5. I was like, God, I don't bet, but I was like, God, I should get on Hard Rock, the only app we have in Florida, Hard Rock. And I'm like, I need to bet. I need to bet on this game. I saw a guy bet $1 million.
Wow. Yeah, I had $100 play money all year long in my app, and I kind of won and lost throughout the year. So I was at like 105 in the app, and I just put it all in Seattle, and I got like $50 out of that because they were,
just went with the money line.
I just went with the money line. Yeah.
So you got $50.
Yeah, but that's all right. Thank you, Sam Darnold. Cashed out.
Oh,
get some new golf club grips.
Running back, he had a hell of a game.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, great game.
I didn't even look at the end of the game. Did he get the MVP?
He did.
Okay, that makes sense.
He deserved it. They relied on Kenneth Walker.
You want to give it to the whole defense, but you can't. So it's like, who do you give it to? Oh, let's give it to the guy that's, actually doing good offensively. Because Sam Darnold had a game.
Yeah. Kudos to the Patriots defense, especially their secondary. They were playing super tight coverage all game long, making it tough on Sam Darnold. And they were jumping. They were playing really aggressive. They were jumping those routes out there.
That defensive back for Seattle, Gonzalez, I think his name is.
He's for the Patriots. Christian Gonzalez.
Or was it for the Patriots?
Yeah. Christian Gonzalez is unbelievable.
Okay, for the Patriots. He was having a hell of a game.
Yeah, he's very good.
I was listening on the radio, so I only could hear what was going on. I couldn't see it.
Let's break it down. The decision. So rewind the clock. You're the Minnesota Vikings. You won 14 games, but you dropped 2 of the biggest games back to back at the end of the year. You no-showed pretty much week 18 for the number 1 seed. You no-showed the playoff game. Going into those 2 games, I think it was almost unanimous. Hey, we got to bring Sam Darnold back. But the taste in our mouth was so bad that I was screaming, let him go, roll with JJ McCarthy. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. That was the wrong decision. I think it's safe to say, it's the wrong decision. Sam Darnold, he's a Super Bowl champion. He had a hell of a squad with Seattle. I don't think we win the Super Bowl if we brought Sam back this year, but you sure as hell make the playoffs. Hell, you probably win the division with Sam Darnold. I think that's pretty safe to say. But I can't. You can fault the Vikings because it's the wrong decision, and that's why they pay those guys to make the right decision. But I see the process, and it's hard to hate on them so much when I was one of the guys clamoring for it, and now I have to eat a whole bunch of crow. What are your thoughts on that?
So on my thumbnail that I put out there, Phil Mackey did a video, put it out there. It says, and repeated it several times, the video, that the Vikings are the laughing stock in the NFL. And his reason why is because of an ESPN guy is hammering on him. But the same ESPN guy last year says you can't re-sign him. So it's like
Yeah.
but it's Phil Mackey's quote. I am the Vikings are the laughing stock of the NFL. The only way they're the laughing stock of the NFL on the decision they made is if everybody wanted to keep Sam Darnold, or at least a majority want to keep Sam Darnold. If the Vikings are laughing stock of the NFL, then the Minnesota media in its entirety and almost every YouTuber is the laughing stock in the NFL, because there's not one that were fucking pounding the table to keep Sam Darnold after that game. I went from wanting to keep him prior to the playoff game because I thought one bad game and I thought there was a good defensive game plan against him by the Lions. He was always getting hit when he was throwing. I watched that game, but he played so bad in that last game. I called it one of the worst quarterback games I've ever seen. Just there was guys to dump off and he wouldn't throw it. Just eating sacks, just killing drives. I thought, well, okay, I'm open to him leaving. But I didn't like pound the table to get rid of him or anything. I could understand why they wanted to keep him. But looking back at that, I always tell it to, and I said last week on a different show that NFL players they want the veteran, proven guy to quarterback their team. And I think in that locker room, Sam Darnold was probably the choice of the majority, if not damn near all of the players that they would have rather had him. And you take out a captain, main cog on the reason why you won 14 games that year, and you say, and you have everything in place and probably could build off of it. And we did. We brought in offensive linemen and D tackles. We may not have been able to bring in the D tackles, but you think this is Aaron Jones saying this, is that, hey, we felt like we had everything. This is a guy probably knowing he's not coming back next year, talking on a podcast. He thought, he made it known that letting Sam Darnold go was a mistake. And and I don't think O'Connell wanted to move on from Sam Darnold. I don't think that at all. I don't think he wanted to move on from Sam Darnold. I don't think he wanted to move on from Kirk Cousins. So I think he wants the proven guy. He wants the guy that's working out. Shout out to him for even getting Sam Darnold on the team and believing in him. And I guess Kwesi too, but Kwesi's the guy that got rid of him. So no. It was just a nail in the coffin for him that Sam Darnold made it to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question, but
I mean, part of me agrees with Phil Mackey. It's fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing as a Vikings fan to have 14 wins and then let the guy go and he wins a damn Super Bowl. We're obviously one of the franchises that has not won a Super Bowl. We haven't been to a Super Bowl since the 70s. And you let him go, and good for Sam. I think, we're all happy for Sam. But he walks out your door and he wins a Super Bowl the following year while we miss the playoffs. It's embarrassing. So I get where Phil Mackey's coming from. To top it off, as you just said, these players are down there in Radio Row leading up to the Super Bowl, basically saying, yep, our leadership made the wrong decision. And you have Justin Jefferson saying, like, yeah, I'm still the number one wide receiver in the league. I just can't put up those damn numbers when I have balls going over my head, right? Like, nobody's pulling punches right now. Aaron Jones, like you said, went in on it. Like, he made it known. That was new information. The locker room wanted Sam Darnold. So
I just find it funny. A guy that says we're the laughing stock of the NFL is also the guy that probably more than anybody wanted this. And in 2024, he actually, going into 2024 season, actually suggested that we tank so we could draft Travis Hunter first overall in the draft, like tank to where we're number one draft pick and solve our receiver 2 or receiver 3 and number one corner problem by drafting Travis Hunter. We ended up winning 14 games. that season. So no, that was a bad idea. And then he also wanted to move on, right? He wanted to move on from Cousins in going into the 22 season, going into 23. He wanted to trade him when we were 1-3 in 2023. So just the sensationalism of that statement to get clicks. We're the laughing stock, and I'm guilty of it because I put his quote on there, and I don't think Score North or Phil Mackey is immune to criticism. If you're the one that been wanting this to happen every year since I've known him, wanted this to happen, he got what he wanted, and now he's saying how big a mistake it is, and it's the laughing stock of the NFL. We are far from being the laughing stock of the NFL. We're 9-8. We missed the playoffs by half a game. And we had injuries all season. We had to play 3 fucking quarterbacks. So there's nothing that says Sam Darnold would have won us the Super Bowl this year. But it definitely would have helped us get to the playoffs for sure. The NFC, obviously, a lot tougher than the AFC. And so is the NFC North. So we're not the laughing stock. I know you. I know what you're saying.
Yes, they fucking are. The Vikings are the laughing stock of the NFL right now because they let Sam Darnold walk out the door and he won a Super Bowl, and everybody's throwing it in our face. Right now, today, the Vikings are the laughing stock of the NFL. It's going to pass, but I disagree with you, partner. I think that it's embarrassing, and I don't have any problems with what Phil said because I am embarrassed to my core right now. And Phil never denied that he didn't, want that plan. And same thing with me. Like, I'm eating so much crow because I thought that JJ McCarthy would be able to walk into this offense, drive the car, if not perform better than Sam Darnold. And I was hilariously wrong. So it's like, yeah, Phil wanted that plan. I wanted that plan. You wanted that plan. Nobody's denying that. And it sucks that we were wrong. And it sucks that, we're happy for him, but it hurts, man. Like watching him win the Super Bowl in different colors. Like, we're the Minnesota Vikings, Dave, like, who's the franchise quarterback, like Super Bowl caliber franchise quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings outside of 1 year of Brett Favre, who was old and broken down at that time? Is it Dante Culpepper? I mean, we just can't have nice things, man. That's why this hurts so badly.
And we had Warren Moon for 3 years, throwing 4,000 yards a year. We had,
yeah, that's just before my time, though. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that goes to my point. It's like,
Cunningham,
believe in Jordan Love or not. Like, the Packers went from, Brett Favre to Rodgers to now Jordan Love. Just talk about stability. Like, I don't know what level of believer, you are in Caleb Williams, but he showed really big strides this year. Like, that's looking like a stable position in Chicago. Jared Goff and for the Lions is, I always thought he was a better version of Kirk Cousins, and I think he's definitely good enough to make a Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl if everything else is going fine. But yeah, man, like, things are dire right now, and we're going to talk during the show, like, where the hell do we go from here at the quarterback position? But it's scary because JJ McCarthy in year one, whether we want to blame it on the injuries or whatever it was not good. And
I mean, were we the laughing stock of the NFL when we didn't re-sign Brad Johnson? I don't know.
Did Brad Johnson go on to win the Super Bowl the next year?
He won the Super Bowl with the next team he played for.
Was it the following year, though? I just don't know the context. Like, who did the Vikings move off of Brad Johnson for? Was it this similar?
We didn't. Who was our next quarterback after Brad? A long list of shit. Culpepper, I think. Yeah.
Was Brad Johnson good in Minnesota? Again, this is before
I would think he's probably top 5 quarterbacks we've had, in my opinion. I thought.
So, like, Two Tone agrees with you. He doesn't think that we are the laughing stock at all. What I'm trying to say is, like, the Vikings were still a great organization, great owners. Like, we're just the laughing stock the day after the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? What's up, Grandizer? What's up, man?
I see a lot. I mean, the very people that if are laughing at us, which I don't think they are the same people that didn't think we should re-sign Sam Darnold.
You're
That was
100% correct. No, like you nailed it.
I
Stephen
don't.
A. Smith.
That's what I'm saying. If there was a majority of people that said keep him, then sure. But 10%. Did 10% want us to keep him at the price?
Probably like
No.
10%. That's probably the number. The issue though is like that's not how this works, right? Like people get to have sports opinions and then they get to have pitchforks and say fire this guy because they got it wrong, even though they did exactly what you wanted them to do. That's why Kwesi's out of a job right now. Honestly, I mean that, and he just couldn't hit the draft. Like he could not figure that out. Meanwhile, you look at Seattle's draft and it's like year after year, they're just nailing 3-4 picks deep in each draft. That's why they won the Super Bowl, right? I mean, they built this thing through the draft. Really well done. Meanwhile, the Vikings are paying tooth and nail through free agency for old washed up players because they have to fill holes because they can't draft. So that's the biggest issue. What did the Vikings fans learn from the Super Bowl besides the Darnold topic? How far off are the Vikings from having this similar kind of defense, offensive line, etc. from the Seahawks? That's a fantastic question.
Didn't
Dave,
Sam
I'll let you
Darnold
tackle
lead
that
the league
first.
in turnovers this year?
Was that true? That doesn't seem right.
I heard during the broadcast. But that he didn't have a turnover in the playoffs, and that's what did it. So can you find a guy that can play like Sam Darnold? Yeah. Because I mean, again, we were talking about how the playoff game against the Rams was like his best game in a while. Right? So I don't think I think if you have a great defense like Seattle did, and apparently a great game plan and great film study, according to like some of the players, that they knew everything that New England was going to do, that you can have a guy come in just like we thought early in the season. If JJ McCarthy could just be an average quarterback, we would be a contender. And I think you can find a guy like Sam Darnold. And let's throw it out there. I mean, Judd brought it up. Other people have brought it up in the media. There's a few players out there, only one or two of which will actually probably be familiar or fit our offense. But you throw out a Kirk Cousins coming back. Could he play better than JJ McCarthy? Limit turnovers, play consistent football, move the ball a little bit so we don't have to, so the defense is not always on the field. Sure, I think you can win in that situation. Can JJ McCarthy be that guy? Yeah, I think JJ McCarthy could step forward and be that guy. I'm not opposed to moving to progress with JJ McCarthy, because I'll be again, hindsight 2020. I would be like, hey, hell, sure. I said, hey, I'm not opposed to moving on to Sam Darnold, whatever Vikings wanted to do, and I'm excited to see JJ McCarthy. That was my take ending the season, because he played so bad in that game that I look back and think now he has experience. Now he knows he has a great defense in Seattle. He was interviewed after the game, or before the game, that, hey, I'm not throwing turnovers. I know if I'm conservative, he didn't use the word conservative, the interviewer did, that if I don't have to take chances because I got such a great defense behind me. Can a JJ McCarthy do that? Answer could be yes. And we don't know yet, but it could be yes. And I think if he was healthy all season, we'd probably make the playoffs too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. McCarthy has so much work from like just mechanic stuff that he's got to fix that stuff before training camp. That was a big issue. And then one thing I wanted to bring up on the show was, the entire beat during training camp was clamoring about JJ McCarthy's growth, and he had high points and low points through camp. But I remember Matthew Collar saying vividly that he has cleared the Christian Ponder bust level. Like, there's no way that he's going to be a flat out bust. He did not see that in his floor. He's greatly changed his tune throughout the season with just stats and things that he brings to the table. But my whole synopsis on this situation is JJ McCarthy looked pretty good in training camp, got better and better and better, was going against the Brian Flores defense the entire time. And then in week 1 against the Bears, he looked bad for 3 quarters. He had no protection. Christian Darrisaw was out. He's getting hit. And then the fourth quarter, he had a great fourth quarter. I think he scored 3 touchdowns to win the game for the Vikings in Soldier Field. Then in week 2, he got hurt. And he was out for, 6 weeks or something like that? And then after that, he hurt his hand against the Ravens. And then after that, he got a concussion against the Packers. Then after that, he further injured his hand against the Giants. So my question to you, Dave, is do you think the talent level of JJ McCarthy was closer to what we saw in training camp and the fourth quarter of the Bears game when he was healthy? And then do you think that the injuries actually significantly derailed his ability to deliver the ball accurately throughout much of the season? So basically what I'm asking you is, would you be surprised if you just see a ton of progress from McCarthy next year if he can stay healthy? Because I wouldn't.
You could see him moving.
If he stays healthy, I think we could see just a completely different guy in terms of completion percentage and accuracy.
When he was playing at a high level, like you said. Okay, I gotcha. So could he do that? Yeah. Again, I don't think it will be consistent as we would hope. Would it be enough? Yeah, I think it might be enough. Would I be optimistic that it could be more? Yeah, I could say that. I think he's athletic. I think Ponder was athletic. Not gonna lie, he's athletic. I don't think he had as strong an arm as JJ McCarthy. I don't know. Ponder would throw some fuck it balls. I don't think JJ does. I just think he's made some bad choices. Like Ponder under duress would just fucking toss it.
Yeah.
And it would be awful. I still remember going to a Bears game in Nashville, and then after the game, I'm wearing a Vikings jersey, so everybody gave me crap at the game because you're wearing the wrong jersey. I'm gonna watch the 4:00 game, so I go watch or 3 or 4:00 game, and he threw for 80 fucking yards against the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, it was just maybe even 60. It was so awful, one of the awfulest games I've ever seen. But is he past Ponder as a bust? No, he could still be a bust. He could still be a bust. He could not make any improvements. The injury bug could really bite him again. But I think he has a better chance of not being than he does of being Christian Ponder. I just think he's got the arm too athletic, and has the drive mentality to advance in this league. There's a lot of the pre-read snaps, the progression, the being able to read the defense. I don't think he's there yet. I think once he gets that, he could be amazing. And again, he's got to learn to throw deep, put touch on the ball. Have we seen him do it? Yeah, there's a couple throws out there that we've seen him do it. He's got to be consistent. Any complaint Justin Jefferson has, he's 100% right.
Validated. Yeah.
Validated. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I agree. That's rule number 1 is you got to be able to feed the superstar. You got to keep Justin Jefferson happy, because if he has another down year like this, I don't think he's staying quiet next year. You know what I mean? He can't keep doing this, just barely squeaking by 1,000 yards. He's better than that. So I guess that brings us to, you kind of touched on it, but Kirk Cousins is an option. Derek Carr coming out of retirement is an option.
Yeah, that was another one.
Kyler Murray, trading for him or picking him up if he's released, is an option. Mac Jones? It sounds like he's staying in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
well, that's posturing. They're saying like, "Hey, we don't want to trade him." Well,
Yeah.
okay, how much would it take you to trade him?
Yeah. So, I mean, if those are our options,
But again, their quarterback gets hurt a lot. So
I think I would rank. I really don't want to give up any capital for Kyler Murray. If they do the offset contract thing where he's released and he signs with us for pennies and wants to do like a 1-year thing while JJ McCarthy learns on the bench and backs him up, I'm fine with that. But I don't want to trade and pay for Kyler Murray as a starting quarterback. Are you on the same page there?
yeah, I don't. I'm just not a fan of Kyler Murray.
So you wouldn't even really be interested in a cheap 1-year deal thing with Kyler Murray. You'd rather roll with either Carr or Cousins. And to be clear, Cousins makes the most sense because he's been in the system.
Well, I think you'd also immediately went over the locker room. Like a lot of guys on there know him. The offensive lineman, well, at least O'Neal is gonna, being a captain. I think had a good relationship with him, and I think Justin and him had a good relationship.
If you're JJ McCarthy and you can't beat out how old is Kirk Cousins? 37?
He'll be 38.
38. If you can't beat out 38-year-old Kirk Cousins off an Achilles injury, like that's tough, man.
But he finished the season pretty good.
Did he?
3 of 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I didn't really look into like who they were playing at the end of the year. Didn't they beat the Bills? Was that Cousins playing when they beat the Bills? I don't remember.
I'd have to look.
They looked good that game though.
I mean, I think he had 17 touchdowns, but like 10 interceptions. I think is like he played like half a game because he had to take over for Penix. I thought it was a mistake to move on. To move on to Penix. I mean, they started out the season 6-3. I mean, his running back calls him the GOAT, calls Kirk Cousins the GOAT. He didn't say that about Penix. He wasn't smiling at the end of the game, raving about his Penix's quarterback.
It's interesting too because it's Stefanski who's coming into that job.
Well, and he was only his offensive coordinator for a year and 2 months, right? It's the end of the 2008 season and then the 2009 season, right?
Yeah.
So they and that could be a fit, right? That could be a fit. I think he'll be more of an offense rather than the fucking pistol offense.
Yeah.
I think they were in the pistol at least half the time, if not more.
Yeah, that's not his strong suit there. That was dumb.
You got to have a quarterback then can have a read option if you're gonna have the running back there. It's like
I still think the highest like ceiling that this team has is JJ McCarthy clicks and he's your starter in 2026, and that's what I hope happens. But I do agree you at least need competition and a suitable backup for him if he does win the job. And if he doesn't win the job, then he's your high-end backup, and you have him to fall back on.
I was watching a video, and he's a real big Kirk Cousins hater. And
who is?
It was vocal Vike rap. But I always tease him because he did 3 MVP videos like Kirk Cousins for MVP, but still hated him as a quarterback. And it was on here saying, no, do not bring him back. We want to win a Super Bowl. Do not bring him back. Then I'm like, bring who back? Is he going to be, my whole thought process is some guys would not want Kirk Cousins to come back just so they don't get proven wrong about him. Finally, you would have a better offensive line. I think it'll be better this year. And you'll finally have a fucking awesome defense outside of 2019 was pretty good. When they made the playoffs, 2018 was kind of up and down. They were coming off the 2017 season was number 1. 2018 it was all right. 2019 it was still good. They made the playoffs. 2020, 21 awful. 22 probably below average most of the year. Then it started to peak. 23 better, 24 even better. 25, this is probably the best it's been in a while. Can I see a game manager Kirk Cousins with that defense and a better offensive line and a more consistent running game. Even though we had a good running back, we still were one of the bottom running teams in the league.
Yeah.
It just, you know, could we? I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'm like pounding the table for him to come back. Maybe that's just one wasted year we could have saw McCarthy grow. I'm okay with McCarthy coming back and starting again. But I'm not gonna lie. I think we immediately make the playoffs if we bring a Cousins or even like who'd you say used to be with the Raiders?
Derek Carr.
So is Derek Carr healthy? Is he? He says he's 100%. Is he? You know,
Yeah,
it's
I don't
like
know.
I'm a little worried about that.
Also, to me, when you say, okay, we're going to roll with Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr, you're basically saying we're okay not winning the Super Bowl this year. We just want to make the playoffs, maybe a first round exit, maybe we win one game. But I don't think these guys are, and you can disagree with me, but I don't think these guys are going to provide you with Sam Darnold level play and that your team's necessarily going to be as dominant as Seattle's team was around Sam Darnold this year. You're just setting the bar lower, but at the same time, like we have to be realistic that Kevin O'Connell might be coaching for his job this year, right? So maybe he's looking for some stability this year while he continues to mature a JJ McCarthy in practice behind the scenes.
Well,
So
Sam Darnold, 4,048 yards, 25 TDs, and 14 picks. I mean,
game manager type stats, right? I mean, he threw for a lot of yards, but the touchdown
4,000,
interceptions, like that's very average.
I don't know what about if there was if there were fumbles in there, but what the fumbles were, but
Yeah, I think he fumbled quite a bit this year. So
sacked, not bad, 27 times. With
another
Minnesota, he was
reason,
sacked 48 times.
another reason to go forward with JJ McCarthy next year, in my mind, is because if he does suck, if we're just bad, we get a better pick for 2027 in an awesome loaded quarterback class. Like maybe we actually suck enough for once to pick our, pick the pick of the litter, right? Arch Manning. Like, would that be the worst thing? That the Vikings actually pick in the top 5 for once. I know you're very anti-tank, but and that comes with
definitely don't hope
questions.
for it.
Right, and it comes with questions with JJ or with Justin Jefferson too, right? Does he stay signed on? And okay, I see the vision. We're gonna pick, a really good quarterback prospect. But hey, didn't they just pick a top quarterback prospect they liked in JJ McCarthy? So it gets hairy. It
So
does.
he's 27 going into next season. He turns in June. So
This is
that means he'd be
Jefferson.
28 going into that next season. And this was my thought when we re-signed him, and I didn't care how much we paid for him. Again, we paid him more than any player outside of a quarterback ever at the time. Now he's probably been passed 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But my thought is that if we busted on the quarterback, in this case it'd be JJ McCarthy, we could trade Justin and rebuild.
I would that would hurt so much. I don't even want to think about that.
It would hurt real bad. It would hurt real bad.
That would hurt.
But it would.
Oh man, talk about trading Randy Moss back in the day, right?
God, how many? I don't know what was our record at the time. We're a losing team, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But we didn't. I don't think we rebuilt off of him though. It was.
Yeah. Would you get like a first round pick for Randy? And and you picked Troy Williamson.
Yeah, and did I ever tell you this story? So I'm in South Carolina doing game support for the Gamecocks. I work for Daktronics. It's the scoreboard company. It builds all the scoreboards, right? And Troy Williamson. I'm living in Columbia, South Carolina, and we drafted him. And I'm like, no fucking way. I fucking called him Stone Hands there.
Oh, so you were mad. So you called him. Okay.
He was fast as shit and was always blowing by people, and they'd throw it to him and
never caught it.
It was like Stone Hands from whatever movie that was with Jason Bateman.
I don't know the reference. I love Jason Bateman, but I don't know.
Unnecessary roughness.
But yeah, dude, it's avoid trading Jefferson at all costs. He seems like such a good dude. Like it would have to get really bad for him to get sour and force a trade for sure.
I
feel like if it
read his
happens,
tweets to his baby mama, so I'll hold my tongue on that. But he outwardly in the media looks like a great dude.
yeah.
And he's a good team player. I'll give him that. His text to his baby's mama, not so much.
Guys in the comments, like if you have something you guys want to, bring up and talk about, let us know. There's not a whole lot that we had planned for this show other than just airing out the Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion. Congrats to Sam Darnold. Completely blew up in the Vikings face. Now, there's still the low chance here that JJ McCarthy turns into our franchise quarterback and wins, 3 of the next 6 Super Bowls. So we're holding out hope, but we're just sad crying Vikings fans tonight with the microphone.
I'm gonna be optimistic here. I feel like he's a year behind where he should be because of the injuries. So I'm just treating this as it was his rookie year.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of bad fucking rookie year quarterbacks that went on to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, he's still so young, dude. He's not even 23. He's still growing into his body. He needs to add bulk. Daniel, I know you're a Matthew Collar guy. I see you in those conversations. And, I know Collar's so down right now on JJ McCarthy. He's basically begging the Vikings to bring in somebody else to start next year. I'm not there. Dan, I don't think you were here in the show like 10, 20 minutes ago when I was talking about, my thought on the whole JJ McCarthy thing this year is Collar himself. I brought this up earlier on the show. Collar himself said that he could not see JJ McCarthy being a bust like Christian Ponder because of the, ability and the things that he was showing in training camp. And that went beyond Collar. That was, Judd was telling us with the camp notes that Judd was bringing to Score North. He was impressing people and he looked good at practice. And that was when he was healthy. Now, I'm contending that it's possible that all of these injuries that he started to occur week 2 of this season completely destroyed his ability to deliver the football accurately. And then when Collar says things on his show, like these are the quarterbacks he's compared to, like Jamarcus Russell, like it's that bad. It's like, I'm like, okay, yes, it was bad, but how much of that was because of the injuries? And I would really like to see the kid have a shot to play healthy and see how different it looks. So I'm not out on JJ McCarthy for 2026. We've just spent the whole show like leading up to that, but I absolutely believe or agree with the Minnesota Vikings that we need to add more competition to the quarterback room. And Dave and I were just saying before you came on, Daniel, that we think Kirk Cousins is a great name to add to this room. And if JJ McCarthy can't beat out Kirk Cousins for that starting job, I mean, he doesn't deserve it. So he can develop behind the scenes for a year if that's the case, because KOC right now is just interested in winning football games. He's going to save his job. I mean, that's all there is to it.
And if he's making the decision, who would give him the best chance of winning? It's about winning games. I say this my previous shows that I've had co-hosts, and I would constantly say, coaches are going to want to win the game, and they're going to put the players in they think is going to best do that. They don't care. If you're not ready, you're not ready.
Yeah.
Now if it's a tie, like, they're going to go with the guy with the upside, if it's a tie.
Yeah.
But yeah, or the person that they spent the most money on or invested the most in, it's like they're going to go with that. Or they'll give a guy a little more leeway, give him an extra game or something. If he still sucks, they'll, then they'll make the move. But yeah, I know that it'd be pretty fucking entertaining in the chat all year if Kirk Cousins is back on the team.
Yeah, our chat is very anti-Kirk right now, and I get it. Like, think of it this way, though. Like, are you guys upset if Kirk Cousins is your backup next year? Because he sure as hell clears Brosmer. I mean, you can't be upset with that. And
Yeah,
then
if JJ McCarthy's that good, then he would beat out Kirk Cousins.
yeah, and let's change Kirk Cousins to Geno Smith. Like, are we any happier with that name? Something Matthew Collar says all the time on his show is, yeah, it's like we're not going to be happy with whoever they pick, guys. It's not Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's not coming here.
What's his name? Willis?
Malik Willis. I don't think he's coming here either.
Yeah, because of the fit.
Somebody's going to pay that guy.
Yeah, someone's going to pay him, and he's not going to.
I think the Miami Dolphins are going to pay that dude.
Yeah, I would talk to my Miami Dolphin friend. He is he's thinking that it might be a decent fit.
He's
starting to suck on my tire guy. I have to get a lot of tires because I use tires, so I go quite often for Ubering. And my tire guy, I brought my wife and kid in to get tires, and he looks at me and he goes, "He's not talking much, is he? Anymore? Because he's a Bears fan."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, how about that? You thought the Bears were gonna finish last, huh? And he goes out of the room and he comes back in and he looks at my wife and goes, "See, he's not talking now, is he?" Like my wife has no idea. Has no idea. I said, "Honey, he's giving me shit because of the Bears Vikings." He was wearing a Bears hat, and God, I was decked out in Viking shit too. So, God, I can't. They have to suck next year.
The Bears? They're in line for regression. I think that if I had to pick it right now, I actually like the Lions to make the playoffs. They're going to have a 4th place schedule. They're still a really good team. They have to figure out how the fuck to block A-gap blitzes. That was their issue. Both times they played us, they just did not know how to play against cover 0, and we just destroyed Goff both games. But I think they'll be back. I think the Packers will be pretty damn good. I mean, the Packers were 9-3 and a popular Super Bowl pick before Micah Parsons got hurt. So, they're going to be trouble. And then the Vikings, with our defense, we're going to be in a lot of games next year, and it just depends on the offense. Like, can you have better output than you had this year? Because if you do, probably going to win an extra couple of games. Also, you have a 3rd place schedule. I can see them finishing somewhere around 9-10 wins next year too. Like, obviously we have to see how the offseason goes, but Brian Flores coming back for this team was such a huge domino for the future of the Vikings in terms of next season.
Yeah, that gave me optimism about next season, is just because I couldn't imagine us with the average defense and McCarthy just getting to that average level and thinking, "Oh God, we're a 500 team." At best, I would pick us to, if Flores wasn't back, I probably would have picked us to not finish over 500.
I'll tell you what, though. I tell you what, though, we got to get hot in the draft, man.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a year we actually draft someone who will start right away.
I saw a graph that was like, how many snaps or whatever did your rookies contribute this season? And the Bears were way up there. Dude, the Vikings have been almost dead last for the last 4 years, which is why Kwesi got fired.
Donovan has been the only guy well, I guess our former right guard, he started right away, but not undeservingly. I guess he played well this year.
Yeah. No, he did not. That's a huge misconception. Ingram did not play well this year.
Or whatever.
Yeah, no, he was a good run blocker. He was just as bad of a pass blocker as he always is.
Okay.
He graded the exact same.
Yeah, that was his biggest problem, especially when people would stun on him. But Donovan and him, and even Jordan Addison didn't start his first year, right? So
yeah. Daniel, the way you just commented, that's about it. That just reminds me of Forrest Gump. That's about it.
Did Addison start? Do we still have?
Addison started right away. Day one started.
Okay, I was thinking we still had Thielen. No, we didn't.
Yeah, Dallas Turner looks like he's going to be a hit too.
Dallas Turner. He's just going to get better and better, I think.
Yeah,
I like his run defense.
Yeah,
I do, and that's probably not his best quality.
He is very good at running the play down.
He sets the edge too. I seen him set the edge a lot. When he stood out to me, he was setting the edge on the run.
I just need him to develop some pass rush moves. All he has right now is winning around the corner with speed or doing a long arm rush. I'd like to see him develop a spin move, developing a rip or a swim, like something, like mix it up.
I think if you made him like wide 9 and
Oh
gave
yeah.
him runway,
Yeah.
he did that.
They I feel like they did that a couple times this season where it was like a 2 tight end set out like inside of him. So he's rushing against the outside tight end and he just ran around him to the quarterback a couple times.
Yeah.
They definitely got him on a couple like scheme sacks where they got him almost a free rush where all he had to do was beat a tight end. So that helped him on a couple sacks this year.
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
look
if
for
you
him to
gave him
clear
a
10.
runway and coming off the edge, that he would be able to go in or out.
Mhm.
If he can't get like he said, he only has a speed rush. He doesn't have a bull rush. I doesn't have that, that spin move that we've had in the past with other, defensive players.
Yeah.
Just like a Jared Allen or forget his name right now. He went crazy.
Spin move?
Yeah.
Was it B-Rob? Did he have a spin move?
No, what's his
Everson
name?
Griffin?
Everson Griffin.
Yeah.
He had a spin move.
He's a nasty one. What's up, Norpheus? What's going on, man? Somebody asked a question earlier about like just comparing the Vikings to the Seahawks, and how far away are they from being a dominant team outside of quarterback like the Seahawks were, and that's interesting. So you look at the offensive weapons with Addison and Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawkinson. They got the pass catchers. Offensive line, actually, the Vikings' offensive line was better than Seattle's. And then running back, they have the clear advantage with Kenneth Walker. We don't have a running back that's explosive like that. So from a standpoint of weapons around the quarterback, it's pretty close. Daniel said earlier he wants to see the center and running back positions filled in. I would like to see an explosive running back in the draft if they can find one of those. Maybe even like Rico Dowdle, who had a great year. Sign somebody like that. And then defensively, obviously the Vikings I think they were like number 3 or something DVOA. They were a very good defense this year, but I would like to see them just get a little bit more multiple in the sense that they don't have to bluff everything and line everything up at the line and make you guess in order to get production, because that can leave holes on the back end with the secondary. I would prefer that they shore up the secondary and get some dudes who can cover for more than 3 seconds and get a little bit better with a 4-man rush, because that's what Seattle was really good at in the Super Bowl. And I feel like that's a cheat code for playoff football. If you can rush 4, get to the quarterback and just drop a shit ton of zone coverage behind it, that bodes well for defense. So, we're going to
Quasi
have to
kind of screwed
replace.
us there with
Yeah,
the contracts that you put on our 2
exactly.
linemen.
You're going to have to replace Harrison Smith. So look for a safety in the draft. We're going to need another
Which I
corner.
think there's some good ones.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of good safeties in the draft. We're going to need at least one more corner, probably sign one in free agency and draft one. But not that our 2 guys are bad. They're good corners, but we just need depth.
Well,
And
and you
also
could, if we get a starter and we can move in our guy
Murphy
to nickel, that'd
Yeah.
be perfect.
That would be perfect. And also it'd help to get some size on the outside because both of our starters are short dudes. And of course with Kyrie Jackson, that loss was, brutal. Rest in peace, because
He was going to be good.
I think he was going to be good, man. I mean, such a shitty situation.
He was going to be so good. I thought that was after seeing him in preseason. I thought that in preseason games, I thought that was our like one of Quasi's best picks.
6'4", fast, physical. I was excited about Kyrie. Yeah. He's a good kid too, man. He's a good kid.
Yeah, I mean, he overcome like just being a kid. Like he just lost his way and he was able to, someone straightened him out and he was on the straight and narrow again. And it wasn't like he was into crime or anything. It was just playing. He was trying to be a professional video game player.
Yeah.
He was one of the best ones in whatever game he was playing.
I think he was at the grocery store when he got the call that he was getting drafted by the Vikings. Just living life, Like,
He worked at a grocery store.
yeah, I think he was working or something. Yeah, good to see everybody in the comments. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you have any questions, hit us up, ask some questions, stimulate some conversation. But center, that is something I think we both agree that we should pick in the draft, right? I don't think there's much on the free agent market. And you have, your right guard and Will Fries, who wasn't great, but he did play every game and he's a veteran. You have Donovan Jackson as at left guard, who now is a year in. I thought he played really well for a rookie. Actually played through a wrist injury a lot of that season. And he's a really smart kid, hard worker. I think he's going to be
Yeah.
a plus starter for a long time. So
He loves football. He loves football.
yeah, yeah. I'd feel okay plugging a rookie in at center. But then the hairy part of that situation is, do you trust JJ McCarthy if he's your starter next year to command everything? And then, or do you trust a rookie center with a lot of those calls? Or do you let somebody else make the calls like
I
Will
wish
Fries?
someone would say or ask that question. Who makes the blocking assignments? Is it the quarterback or is it the center or a lineman? Or
Well, it was Ryan Kelly this year when he was healthy. I don't know what happened. I think that fell upon Blake Brandel when he was at center. I don't think McCarthy handled that.
I just think sometimes the quarterback can like override something. Say, God, that guy's coming free. I can see it. He's coming free because we're on that fucking TV looking at it,
Right.
And we're going, that guy's who's blocking that guy? No one's going to block that guy. Yeah, there he is, sack.
Yep. Is Mason big enough to move to fullback? I don't think so. I don't think so. I would anticipate that this team either just scraps the fullback position, or they might mess around with putting the blocking tight end Oliver back there a couple times a game. Or maybe they draft a kid this draft, or bring in probably an undrafted free agent to bring in and try out, maybe make the team as a fullback. That's my guess. But no, I don't think that Jordan Mason's big enough to move to fullback. Also, I think he's going to be your primary running back next year with Aaron Jones likely getting cut.
Yeah. So, well, he's just a free agent, right? Isn't he?
Who?
Aaron Jones.
No, but with his contract situation, he's like just a likely cut candidate. I think he's going to get cut.
I thought he was a free agent. My bad.
Dave, can you do me a favor? Can
Yeah.
you look up if the Dolphins had a fullback this last year? That's a great question, Blackie, because we just got Frank Smith, who's now going to be what I assume to be our run game coordinator. His official title is the assistant head coach. But you got to believe that he's going to bring a lot of run game principles to the Vikings next year. So that is a great question. I like the way you think. Norpheus says, what do you all think about Derek Carr coming in as a backup to help JJ understand what he's seeing out there? If this is the move, I'm fine with it. So, Norpheus, we were talking about Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr or Geno Smith, any of those guys coming in and competing with JJ McCarthy. And we kind of landed on the idea that if JJ McCarthy can't beat any of those dudes out, he doesn't deserve to start next year. And if that's the case, we would both be fine with one of those three names starting for the Vikings. It's not ideal, but I mean, I still trust Kevin O'Connell to make that decision. He's clearly running the show, and he's going to put his stamp on one of those quarterbacks to come in here and compete with JJ McCarthy.
They had a fullback, Alec Ingold.
Oh, Alec Ingold's very good. Yeah. He's been in the league for a long time. He's very good.
He's 30. 6'1", 232.
Blackie says that because I think our run game is going to get taken over by that Dolphins guy. Yeah, I agree with you. So, yeah, I think that they will look for a fullback then, based on that information. Norpheus says as a backup, he'll be excellent. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not hard to clear Max Brosmer, guys. We got to get something in other than Max. Max can be QB3, developmental, be on the practice squad. That's fine. But he was nowhere near ready.
Yeah, I had hopes for him, but I'm surprised we won with them, even with 2 games. Honestly, second half. Well, he won. He play. He won. They won with him coming in an injury twice, and then we won it with him as a starter once.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Grandizer says the Finns not only used Alec Ingold, they also like to use extra offensive linemen. And that's something we were begging the Vikings to do this year more. We wanted more heavy personnel. And the Vikings run game this year was a lot of line it up and run it straightforward. There wasn't a ton of motion involved. They were one of the lowest teams in the league in terms of motion on run plays. And maybe some of that was JJ McCarthy having some training wheels on and trying to make his job easier. But if you watch the Dolphins run game, there's always someone in motion. They're trying to change angles. They're trying to get a head start. They're trying to dress some stuff up with play action. So that's one thing
Jordan Mason's biggest runs came off like cutbacks.
Yeah. He's a stretch
they
runner.
over pursued.
Yep. Thanks for the live, guys. Yeah, man. Good to have you. Thanks for the questions. Those are great questions.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Let's see. So Grandizer was talking about Daniel Brunskill, a center / guard they used for a 6 blocker with Alec Ingold. Yeah, man. I'm all about it. Let's go find some more beef and run some 6-man offensive line, like unbalanced run plays. I'm all for that.
We had 9 linemen. 10. I think we had 10 linemen 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Dan. KOC's run game offense is so vanilla, and maybe part of that is because like he spends so much time in the passing game and passing game concepts, but that's why the Frank Smith hire is so big this year. They need to be able to run the football better. Now, I
think the zone run offense or zone running offense is vanilla just in general.
Yeah. Zone right, zone left. Right? But Miami did some things to dress it up and break it free. So I think it has a lot of room for improvement. But part of it is KOC just has to be able to continue to hit the run button and not the pass button. He's got to lean on it more, for sure. Look at this, man. I said we were going to have a shorter show today, and we have the comments carrying us to 57 minutes. Good for you guys. Glad to have you guys.
Well, by the way, we won't be here next week.
Yeah, so I'm on vacation, and Dave's little boy's
I'm
birthday.
I'm doing surgery on somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my kid's birthday. He turns
10.
in
with me.
We're celebrating. He's born on Valentine's Day, but we're celebrating because it's cheaper on the weekdays. So we're gonna do it on Monday and Tuesday in Naples, Florida.
There you go. I think we're running out of topics here, guys. So probably call it here pretty soon. Anything else on the top of the dome, Dave, that you wanted to cover on this episode?
I think we, I think Jordan Addison's back. I guess I don't know because
that's a great point. So now you got to assume that KOC is calling the shots, and I don't think he's going to be excited about shipping out his number 2 target in the offense. I would guess he's coming back.
And the only, our tight end, whether or not he's going to be back, because he would clear some cap space, and they do have a cap problem. All the praise I gave Kwesi, because that was a lot of the praise I'd give him defending him, is that he got us out of a cap situation to put us right in one. I mean, within 1 year, with the choices he made at picking up D tackles. I mean, it's like, oh my God, those were awful contracts. I thought so when I saw them. I'm like, these guys better be fucking good. I was like, if we're gonna win this year, okay, I'm fine with it. But we didn't. Yeah. We didn't make the playoffs, so now I think it sucks.
Yep.
And I was liking it because Hargrove looked so good in the preseason, in camp, and then he had one good game, and then I don't know, mid-season he had a couple good games. It's just I don't know.
He didn't hold up well against double teams. He got double teamed and they got beat up, and then he wasn't as effective in the pass game. It wasn't great.
I mean, they got those game balls that game because in O'Connell, we challenge you this week and you came through, and really got to challenge these guys. Aren't they veterans? Don't they want to fucking win? I don't know. It's
yeah. Daniel says that Will Fries might turn it around.
He'll be 2 years off of injury.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I don't think he was there for all of training camp. He kind of came back right at the beginning somewhere of training camp. I think he pushed it to make it back as well. So I could definitely see him being better next year. But hey, man, give it to him. At least he played every single game, right? Like there's something to the availability that he had. Clearly a tough guy, and average right guard play is still a sight to behold in Minnesota, right? Because we've had our fair share of that position just being a sieve on this roster. So, but we did overpay for an average guard for sure. I'll give you guys that. Like, we threw around a bunch of money this free agency last year that was not anywhere
He was
close.
my number one go get.
He wasn't anywhere as close to being as savvy as we were a year before.
Yeah, before he got hurt.
Right.
And before that, he was average.
Yep. So. He's a plus run blocker, and pass protection has got to be better, especially with stunts. And part of that was the revolving door at center next to him, I got to believe, because when Brian Clark was in there, it looked fine. And when he wasn't in there, there was some miscommunications. I am excited, though, with the direction of the offensive line. Not saying that Chris Cooper was a bad coach, but and there's some trepidation that fans have with this Keith Carter guy because he has some history of rubbing his players the wrong way. But I think Frank Smith is the guy who's going to be the glue for this offensive line as the assistant head coach. And I think
they said Ryan Clark.
He's crazy. Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Ryan Clark. Who's the safety on ESPN who's always yelling about racial stuff. Not that
Do your homework, Skoldock.
Ryan Kelly. Freudian slip.
Yeah. I was like, who the fuck's Ryan Clark? I'll just let him talk.
Ryan Clark. Well, Caitlin Clark is a special place in my heart, so maybe that's where the Clark came from. Big Indiana Fever guy. Dave and Doc, did you cover the Vikes' new cornerback or secondary coach, Gerald Alexander? I want to say I heard that on First and Skull. So we talked about that last week a little bit. He was a guy who coached with Flores in Pittsburgh, and I think they get along super well. And I will say that Steeler fans were not happy that he found his way over to Minnesota. They did not want to lose him. So seems like a good hire. Obviously, it hurts to lose Durante Jones. He's a great coach. Did a lot of really good things for the Vikings. But by all accounts, this seems like a plus hire. Seems like a good dude.
And this is a lateral move, which is unusual, right?
Yeah.
But because it's a new coach, they probably didn't care.
True. And then our defensive run game coordinator was a guy who came from the Jaguars. Don't remember his name off the top of my head. Daniel likes the coaching hires. He does want to see the plan around the draft. It's so interesting since Rob Brzezinski is going to be heading this, and you got to think Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell have so much input. Not that they didn't when Kwesi was heading it. Like, I still think the positional coaches and KOC and Flores were basically making those selections, and KOC was kind of signing off on it. But what I'm interested to see is it going to be just stick and pick? Or are they going to be making phone calls and trying to get more picks and move down, things like that? Let me ask you this, Dave. Top of your head, I don't know how familiar you are with, some of these names available at 18 when we do our mocks. Are you, quote unquote, falling in love with the name yet? Do you have a guy where you're like, oh, I hope that guy's there. If he's there at 18, take him. Because I have a guy that's like that.
Well, when we drafted last week and we picked that D tackle,
Caleb Banks, right? Is that his name?
If I see him in the combine and he looks healthy and fast and strong, I'll be like, okay, this might be the guy.
So he comes with some risk because of the foot injury and missing time. But he's just a monster, dude. He's built like Chris Jones for the Chiefs. He's just
And
an
then you
absolute
think like,
monster.
does Flores like that type of guy? Because he hasn't got one on his team yet. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My guy is, and I don't think he's going to be available, but that corner from LSU, Mansour Delane, that guy, I think, can be a shutdown corner. Again, I don't think he falls to 18, but he's kind of that name where I'd be really excited if the Vikings picked him. But I agree with you. Caleb Banks is a name that I'm really starting to like. Lee Hunter is a name that I'm really starting to like. He blew up at the Senior Bowl, and he's got good game, man. He's got good tape. So those are some names that I'm
wide
kind of
receiver
looking
from
for.
Notre Dame we like, but not in the first round, right?
Yeah, Malachi Fields, more of a third-round draft guy, in my opinion.
He could sneak up though.
Larry, what's up, Larry? Says I feel sorry for JJ McCarthy. It's not his fault. The Vikings did not keep Darnold. You can't give up on a quarterback after 10 games. Yeah, nobody on this show is going to disagree with that take. We do not want to give up on JJ McCarthy, but at the same time, we're both okay with adding competition for him, not just handing him the job, because he does need to improve quite a bit. And you know, that decision is going to be up to Kevin O'Connell, and he's going to have to show us that he's improved over the offseason. Now, I've said this before. I really hope that JJ McCarthy is hiring somebody to work on his mechanics over the season. Like that guy, I forget his name, something Hess, worked with Josh Allen, broke down his mechanics, rebuilt it from the ground up. I think JJ McCarthy needs that. That would be great for him. He says Ryan Nielsen, that's the Vikings' new defensive line coach, ? I don't know anything about him. He was the DC for the Jags in 2024. Daniel says he was good on the Falcons. Jaguars, not so much. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I haven't done my homework on Ryan Nielsen. Don't know much about him. Kind of wish they went and got Andre Patterson back because I think he got let go by the Giants.
The Falcons D line got after it. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I picked them up on my fantasy team quite a bit.
Oh man, did you see what happened with their defensive end, the first round pick? Got in trouble with the law. Did you see that?
Oh, is that the one that beat his NBA girlfriend?
Yeah, so WNBA, Rakia Jackson, I think is her name. She got in her car, was driving to the police station.
Oh, ram the car, right?
He rams her car with his Lamborghini multiple times. The cops start chasing him. He's running from the cops, gets out of the car. Cops pursue him. Takes like 6 cops to get him on the ground. They tase him. So he's in a bunch of trouble. And
I know what you guys are thinking. What did she do? I'm kidding.
This is a guy. They traded up for him at the end of the first. They gave up their 2027 first round pick to go up and get this guy. And it's very possible that he's going to prison.
Stupid.
Yeah, oh my God.
Some kind of stupid, man.
Some kind of
What city
dumb.
was it in?
I think it was in Florida.
Oh,
of course, right? Pretty sure it was in Florida.
Yeah. We're not California here. We're not Chicago. We're not Minneapolis. They put people away. Except for receivers that beat their wives in Miami. So maybe not. Maybe we'll get away with it.
I mean, I don't understand it, guys. Oh, Daniel's a Florida guy. What's up, man? He's your neighbor.
I forget where you from, man. What part of Florida?
Dave, by the way, it was between Miami and South Padre Island where we're going. So we decided South Padre Island. We're going to South Texas.
I've been there twice.
Oh, what do you think? Tell me you like it.
I was spring break, man. I was 19 and 20.
Gotcha.
I spent a little time in jail. My minor consumption. My buddy was 21, but my buddy has freaking arthritis, and well, he's now passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My best friend, me and this other guy were carrying the beer to wherever we were going to be, and a ATF guy told us to stop. We listened. later on, he's when he's in a room with us, he goes, "You should have ran. I wouldn't have came after you." Like, fuck.
I mean, we got to end the show on that. That's fantastic.
But yeah, that was my minor consumption in South Padre Island, Texas. I was 20 years old.
So we're gonna beat the spring break crowd, but we're excited. My wife is almost in her third trimester. We couldn't move it back. This is the warmest spot we could
Tampa,
find in
Daniel?
the country. So let's see.
I'm in
I do
Fort
wanna-
Lauderdale, Pompano Beach specifically.
I do want to read that. Thanks for joining us. This ownership group is not serious about winning a championship since 1998. They just want to put people in the seats and sell jerseys being a 500 team. Happy for Sam. I think I got to disagree with that personally. I think the ownership group is fantastic. If they have a flaw, it's that they want to win so damn bad that they don't just lean into being bad sometimes in order to get a top pick and draft, in the top 3 to potentially get a quarterback. But I think that the Wilfs have done everything in terms of getting the Minnesota Vikings new facilities, spending the free agent money, even though they're not the richest owners, they're not afraid to throw out money to try to win. I can't say enough about the Wilfs and just their desire to win, and I think they're great owners personally. And they
Paid
don't
off
really
the stadium early. They put their own money into it, extra money into it to add upgrades to it when they didn't have to.
They don't meddle with the football decisions. They let the guys run. They hire the guys to run the team. Now it's another, if you want to call them right? Because it seems like now with 2 regimes, there's been shit flying under the radar. Like, what do you mean Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer aren't talking to each other for the last year? Well, you would know that if you had eyes in the building, right? Like, that's part of it. Like, you got to have tabs on your own building.
I mean, you wouldn't even think that would be a thing to even ask. But now that it's happened, like him not wanting to meet with Kirk Cousins, Zimmer not wanting to meet with Kirk Cousins until his 4th year. That's, or 5th year. I forget when that year was, but just stupid shit like that. And it's like, you wouldn't think to ask.
This is a really good way to put it. They let good be the enemy of great. You're right. So like Judd says this on his show all the time, that the Wilfs believe if you get in the tournament, you have a chance. But Matthew Collar believes that you really don't have a great chance unless you win 12 to 14 games, get a number 1 or 2 seed, you rank top 4 in DVOA and pass game, you have a top 10 defense. Like he said, based on research he did, you'd be surprised, but to win the Super Bowl, you kind of got to be good at everything. It's funny how that works out in football, but I don't necessarily believe that you make the tournament, you have a chance to get there. Like, technically, yes, but I do agree with what you're spitting here, man. You're spitting fire. I agree. But with that said, I think we can all agree that there's so many clown shows in the NFL in terms of ownership. We'll take the Wilfs every day.
Yeah, so many people say like the only way to, and even Quasey said the easiest way is just break it down and start from scratch. Yeah, let's follow the Jets and the Cleveland model all the time. Yeah, that'd be a great idea. It's so I'm just trying to figure out a team that fucking does that and wins the Super Bowl. Like, I don't, Cincinnati, they went to the Super Bowl and now they're won 4 games or whatever. It's like, with a rookie quarterback, I guess you could say New England, but that was a weak AFC, easy schedule if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it's just and he played horribly, and the O-line played horribly. It's like, but again, back when we were the NFC was the weaker league, I was just saying you just got to get to the Super Bowl, you just got to beat the NFC. You don't have to be, you just got to get there. And the NFC was a lot easier route, but now it's not. It's the toughest route. We didn't get the number 1 seed with 14 fucking wins. That was insane.
Ridiculous. Daniel, funny comment. He says the baby will be half Bear, half Viking. So that's kind of what happened with Ellie for the first 2 years of life. And now Ellie goes over to her in-laws with my wife and they all watch the Bears, and she's in Bears gear, like I would say 80% of the time. So I've like secretly let that happen because when Luca, the boy, is born, I'm gonna try to like get him in Viking stuff as much as possible because I need somebody to suffer with me, and it might as well be the boy, that poor bastard. So Luca gonna be my little Vikings guy. Grandizer, thanks, man. Catch you next time. Thank you so much for joining us. You brought some great questions tonight, man. You were great. Says KOC has to change his scheme to run the ball, man. He's addicted to the ego of playing one kind of football. Yeah, I totally agree. I do think that passing game drives NFL success. And that's, hunting explosives. I truly believe in that. But the run game has to have a certain merit to it, right? It can't just be something that you do a few times here and there. Like, you have to be able to lean on teams and run the ball when you need to run the ball. KOC's offenses have been the worst in football throughout this last several years in terms of third and fourth and short. Like, that's when we get cute. We want to throw the ball too much. We need to be able to run the ball in those situations. So I agree with you guys for sure. Daniel says the run sets up the home run plays and eats clock. Yeah, I agree.
Brings up the safeties.
It brings up the safeties. It gets you into more single high coverage. That's when Justin Jefferson can go eat. That's when he thrives. So we need a threat in the backfield, in my opinion, to scare defenses to not guard Justin the way that they're guarding him. The way that teams guard Justin Jefferson is like this triangle defense. It's like triple coverage. We need to get them out of that. We have to dictate that by running it down their damn throat.
Bring Derrick Henry here.
Oh man, dude,
so much shit for that, and it goes
that would have been awesome.
2,000 yards.
I gotta run. I hear the wife upstairs like stomping around. I think I gotta go help her out. But you guys have been awesome tonight. Dave and I got on this episode tonight. We thought, this might be a 30 to 45-minute episode because there's just not a whole lot to talk about other than congratulations, Sam Darnold. Kudos to you. Vikings fucked up. And you guys brought the fire in the comments, brought great discussion. And we're happy to have you, man. We're going to catch you guys in 2 weeks. Everyone have a good week next week, Dave. Happy birthday to your little boy. I'm going to go get some sun in South Texas.
Yeah. All right.
Skull, guys.